Hey everybody, hope you're doing well. So I wanted to do a quick video, ATC, about those comments with regard to the teacher, the one in Houston, okay, who feels that she's being discriminated against based on not only racism but discrimination. And as I said before, not surprised at all. I did a video on my Patreon, and that video was called 90-Day Negro. And in that video of 90-Day Negro, I had a conversation with a person who was in management for a corporation. And the person was telling me that basically some of the tactics that are used, for example, when it comes to minority employment, the person was telling me they use a tactic whereas, for example, they will hire a minority, okay? And you're thinking, oh, wow, I've got a job. Yay, they hired me. Yeah, wonderful. And this here, it is what it is. It is very racist in nature. But as I said before, and I've said again on this channel, some people are playing, some are planning, okay? And he said what they do is this. This is what he's saying. So they may hire some African Americans, minorities, what have you, and you think you have a job there. However, you are only going to last maybe a couple of months, let's say 90 days. Okay, so when they hire you and you've worked, 3 months or so, some of these companies, they can get, he was saying at that time, it's an older gentleman, they can get like there's a tax incentive, or there's some kind of incentive for having minority personnel. Well, with affirmative action, forget about that. So anyway, he was saying they'll pretty much hire a minority. You may be there for 3 months, which is 90 days. And then they can say, oh, you know what? We tried this person here. They did work here. However, it didn't work out. Well, what happened? The person did not fit in with the culture of the company. So keywords, the culture of the company. And I've actually seen this before. I've experienced it. It's interesting. And you look around, it's like, well, everyone here is Caucasian. So that's their way out. And he's like, basically, he said something that really kind of bothered me. He was like, he's seen managers. It could be a person, for example, that's a minority. And let's say you have them to do a job, okay? And then you're constantly maybe kind of picking at it or changing things up. Oh, you know what? You did great, but you know what? You didn't do this, yada, yada, yada. He said, let's say a simple thing, if the person like does a simple sign, like, oh, okay, a sigh. He said, they can then use that side and say, oh, you know what? I told the person to change course. It could be for the 15th time. Okay. They can turn around and use that side and say, you know what? Yeah, the person doesn't fit in. There is an attitude. So basically, it's like anything to get you out of there. And don't forget, some states, as in what this teacher is in Texas, these are at-will states. They do not legally have to have a reason to fire you. They don't. At will. So I think this right here with the teacher, I took it to heart because these are issues that people are facing. And some people may think, oh, just a minor deal. No, it's not. No, it's not. Blessings for Life made a comment, said, I think they will hire black for up to 5 years max, but try to fire before they are vested for a pension. Institutional racism, exactly. Oh, exactly. That definitely. Institutional racism, that is for sure. So that reminded me of when I saw that comment, the video I did on Patreon, 90-Day Negro. And you look at it, like I said, these kind of things happen. So you look at why people are like, I got the education, you can't seem to get ahead because the employment is not consistent. Now, aside from being a minority, got a news flash for you. Everybody, unless you are wealthy, guess what? You can get it. Oh, you can definitely get it. This is not a new thing. I've seen this before. You get so close. I've seen this and I've heard about it with African Americans in particular. In my group, a person was like, oh my goodness, 2 weeks, was in 2 weeks, worked for a company for 20 years. And guess what was happening? In the HR department for some minorities, you look up, they were keeping up with it. You're in 2 weeks in for your pension, just 2 more weeks, work there all the time, and boom, let you go. Why? So you cannot get the pension. So guess what? With today's economy and with the greed, I got a news flash for you. The 90-day Negro treatment is not just going to be for black people. Oh no, guess what's happening? 90-day Negro treatment, guess what? It's also happening to non-black people. I'm seeing Karen and Brad and Becky, people complain about it. Why? Because guess what? Besides racism and discrimination, there's also corporate greed, and they love one color. You want to call it racism? It's called the color of greed, the color of profits, money. So interestingly enough, some of the same tactics that I've seen and that someone always have experienced is now boiling over now, in some cases, into the larger society. And people are freaking out. Nothing new. They're freaking out. Business for Life says there are only 5.8% of teachers who are black women. This is by design. Well, and I just checked because this here was in reference to Houston, Texas in particular. In the state of Texas, it says understanding the shortage of teachers of color in Texas. So this percentage report is specifically toward Texas. It says almost 65% of Texas K through 12 school students are Black Latino, but only 37% of teachers are Black or Latino. As a result, students of all backgrounds miss out on the many academic and social emotional benefits of a racially and ethnically diverse teacher workforce. The data also says that guess what? Almost 19,000 Black and Latino students attend a school where they have no same race teachers. Ergo, my statement. After hearing this, people listen, life is changing right now before our eyes. Having education, I'm sorry to say this, it's no guarantee. The world is not going to fall at your feet because you've got an MIT degree, a bachelor's, 2 master's, PhD. It's not. They've shown PhDs on food stamps. People have got to be more proactive than now more than anything. That's why I said, okay, what's the PTA doing? Black parents, why are you not reaching out to the principals, the main office, whatever they call it, for the administrator? They each have a main office. So what's going on? Or just we to stand by and just let this happen because you're too tired. It's all by design. The study continues to state, this report. Listen to this. Moreover, almost 37% of white students attend a school without a single Black teacher, and 13% attend a school without a single Latino teacher. So what does that tell you? 37%. That's a nice percentage. And it's okay for people to have people in positions that represent their culture. That's why when I heard about that in Houston and they were letting those Black teachers go, it was just crazy to me. It was so crazy to me. And then it's brought in all white female teachers right out of college, no experience. Got a degree and certified, that's it. Teachers having 10, 20 years experience, Black, they were put out. What are the parents doing? Absolutely nothing. Because that tells me maybe they're not as concerned about or don't understand the importance of being involved in your kid's education. It's more than getting your kid to school, clothed, dressed, fed, and supplies, and said, okay, go ahead and go. So you're not going to tell me that 65% of those people, if the parents got involved, if you really, really care to get involved, would not address the issue. Again, you have to get involved. It's more than only get involved because, oh my, TT got shot by the cops. That's not a good thing. Of course, I understand that. But it's like there are other things on a more intellectual level. And I think that concept is falling through the cracks. I do. I really do. Again, that's my opinion. So, one more thing here. Sorry about that. Let me scroll down. Yes. So, badass underscore Lily said, it happens all the time out here in Phoenix. Okay. She said, which is why my mother and I haven't been able to find work in over 2 years. Hello. If you're part of Patreon, look at what they're doing in Alabama. In case you didn't get the notification, but I sent it out yesterday. Why someone is playing? Ooh, somebody sure is planning. What's Alabama doing? They're taking some of the non-violent not ex-con prisoners, and guess what, people? They are putting them to work in the private sector. What do you mean put them to work? All places like Wendy's, McDonald's, all kind of companies. You'd be surprised. And they're taking, man, if you add it up with all the fees, they're taking more than half the check. It's by design. So think, instead of having prisoners sitting up here making license plates, man, that's old school. Making license plates, there's no money for that. Making what, 15, 65 cents? No. They know how to now go ahead and get in a position. Well, guess what? You get some prisoners and you get them to work real jobs. Get prisoners to go ahead and work real jobs, and guess what? You can make a whole lot more money off of them. Then they're pulling what I call a camel like that in California. They're like, hey, it's too many inmates, let's let, free some of the nonviolent. Oh no, the state needs the cheap labor. And then you look up, a nonviolent person should have been out months ago. Those are mainly men, black men, kept them in there longer. Sometimes you get yourself in a position and you're seemed as, and I'm not saying it's right, oh, that person's life doesn't matter. So now some of the prisoners are sitting up here working at McDonald's, and trust me, you're going to be on time because they're picking you up and dropping you off. So some of them are going, hey, wait a minute. It's time for me to go ahead and get my parole. I'm up for parole, okay, on a nonviolent crime. I am up for parole. It's time for me to get up out of here. Then you look at what the lady's saying. Oh my goodness. Each time you go for parole, what? Well, they won't let me leave. Well, of course not. I haven't caused any trouble. You're going by the rules. Yeah, you're a money maker. You're a money maker. So why would they want you to leave? They got you working 3 to 4 days out of a week at a fast food, and when you add up what their percentage and all the fees and stuff, man, they're taking some of that stuff. It sounds like they're taking, if you add it up, they could be easily taking about, if you're on average, what, 70-80% of the check. That's crazy. Yeah, corporate greed. So this here, people have got to get more involved, and people think, oh, it's no big deal, it's not my job, they can teach someplace else. Well, let's hope it doesn't come your way. But it's things like this here, people have got to see the big picture and realize, hey, you just can't sit down and say, oh, well, that's what they're doing. So again, Badass Lily says it's the same thing here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's the same thing there, which is why my mother and I haven't been able to find work in over 2 years. That is ridiculous. Okay? It's all by design. Now, so the nappiness, real quick. In self, 1117 says everyone is looking for low-cost labor. Exactly. Why do you think Alabama right now is sitting up here getting prisoners instead of making license plates and this little minimum work that they're doing? No, they're putting you to work in the private sector. Go ahead and work at Wendy's. Go ahead and work at McDonald's. There are saying reports of some even working in a sheriff's office. You have got to be kidding me. And where's the money going? To the state. Oh, yeah. And by the way, you also get to pay back. When you go to court, things like that, those fees are hardly ever paid back. Guess what? They have found a way to use that as a means to have a prisoner sit up here and, you're going to pay those lawyer fees. Well, I got a state representing attorney. Guess what? And that you might find yourself working at McDonald's to pay the fees back. Why someone is playing, someone is planning. In closing, last comment. Southern Napping has made a very good point here. She says she should become a private tutor to wealthy families. A family friend left the public school to teach children of a wealthy family. She loves it. She speaks 3 languages and travels with the family occasionally. Yes, you have to think about yourself. You have to. So with things like this here, and I'm like, okay, what are the parents doing? Just probably watching it and going on about their day. You've got to take action because guess what? This shit that's happening right now, the racism, discrimination, guess what? It's spreading over. Oh, definitely. You have, like I said, the video on Patreon, 90 Day Negro. You got people right now, you're going for a job, you think, oh my gosh, I got me a new job. Guess what? Some of these jobs, they're not going to tell you, but guess what? They may have you there for 3 or 4 months, 6 months. Oh, it's over, and you have no idea. Guess what? They only want you there for a certain time to get the project carried to this point. Okay, they want to minimize the cost, get you out of there. Now, give it back to the other team members. So yeah, people, it's all by design, and that's why I think people are going to have to be more strategic in our thinking and in how we move. So this here, a teacher fighting for her job. Where are the parents, the PTA? What's going on? Where are the emails? Where are the phone calls to the administrator, to the principals? What's going on? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. But don't forget, like I said, these things could change. You have 65% of Texas grades K through 12. The public school students are black and Latino, but only 37% of the teachers are black and Latino. You think so? And I'm willing to bet you by what's going on by teachers, it's kind of like a foster child aging out. Stop and think. If they can go ahead and let you go, I think they have a different kind of pension. You can go ahead and start someplace else. Yeah, they have a different kind of pension, I believe, for teachers. Older is by design. Why? Well, health insurance costs as you get older. You may incur more health issues. Insurance costs, going to the doctor. Surgeries. You understand? Again, it's all by design. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I'm out.